So I want to talk about process, because I think a lot of us don't realize that there's often a desert land before the promised land. And when you don't know how to navigate the desert land, you could be stuck there for 40 years. And so I want to talk a little bit about process. Now, I can't first talk about process unless I talk about something more boring, which is waiting. Nobody talks about waiting. Let's look at Proverbs 8:34. It says this: "Blessed are those who listen to me, watching daily at my doors, waiting at my doorway. For those who find life find me and receive favor from the Lord. But those who fail to find me harm themselves." It is important that we understand the process of waiting. Waiting and process go hand in hand, kind of like diet and exercise. You usually don't get one without the other. Isaiah 40:31, very popular scripture. "But those who wait on the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings like eagles. They shall run and not grow weary. They shall walk and not faint." I remember in 2016, I was in the back of a church. I was just getting done ministry, and I was just about to end for the night. And the Lord stops me in my tracks. He says, "Paul, I want you to fast." I said, "Okay, God." I wasn't excited about it. I don't know if you're excited about fasting. A lot of people, I have friends who love fasting, who really have this expectation when they fast, and some fast 40 days every year, once a year. Other friends of mine will fast certain days of the week, every week. I'm not against fasting. I embrace fasting. I'm one of these people that if I actually made it something that is happening, systematically, it ends up becoming a ritual for me, and it would lose its value for me. And so I always told the Lord, I'll fast if you call me to fast. And for a couple years, he didn't call me to fast. And I was loving it. It was awesome. And so the Lord had said, "Paul, I want you to fast." I said, "Okay, God, when?" I realized that it's important that when God asks us to do something, that we respond immediately. This is something my wife showed me. I remember I was in the kitchen. I was throwing something away in the trash can, and I don't know if it's like this with you, but I don't like to waste trash bags. And so, everyone has an opinion of what full really looks like. And I remember I was trying to balance this item of trash on the trash can, and if it could balance, then it's not full. But if it can't balance, I got to take it out. And so I'm balancing. It's not staying there. I got to take it out. And I realized something. I have a son who's watching TV who could really use some responsibility. And my son at the time, he was 9 years old. And if you heard my testimony last night, my son is from a previous marriage when I was really young. And so he's about 9 years old. And my wife, Ruth, she refuses to call herself a stepmom. My kids love her and she loves them. And she says, your mom is great and she loves you and she'll always be your mom, but you can call me bonus mom. I'll just be a bonus mom. And so that's who she is to them. And so I told my son's name's Giovanni because I'm Italian. And I said, "Hey, Giovanni, I want you to take the trash out." He said, "Okay, Dad." But he didn't do anything. He just kept watching. I said, "Son, I want you to take the trash out." "All right, I'm on it." "Son, take the trash out now." "Okay." Like walking, but still engaged in the... And my wife, she stops what she's doing. She goes over to him. She says, "Giovanni, delayed obedience is disobedience. Or slow obedience is disobedience." And that struck me. Because how many times has God asked me to do something and I say yes and do nothing? Thinking I'm obedient when really it's just in talk and not action. And so I learned right away, Lord, when you tell me to do something, I'm going to say yes and I'm going to do it. And so I said, "Yes, Lord, when? You want me to fast when?" And he said, "November 30th to December 30th. I said, "God, that's not a great time." If you were to ask me, when I would fast, I would do January 2nd to February 2nd. Like, I probably need to fast within that time frame, you know? Some of the best cooking during Christmas time, where nobody cooks all year, and then all of a sudden they get out their family recipes, and they whip up the famous cookies for the year, or whatever they're going to do. But I said, yes, God, I'll do it. And so I was not looking forward to it. The part of fasting, you know, they should call it slowing. Because all of a sudden time slows down. And I would be like, man, I'd be eating right now. It's breakfast, I'd be eating. And then lunch, I'm like, you know, there's nothing fast about fasting. But I thought, surely if God called me to this, something amazing and miraculous is going to happen. I'm going to set aside time every day, an hour, 2 hours, and I'm going to pray, and I'm going to hear and wait on the Lord for these 30 days, because I don't know, maybe he's going to give me the word of the year for the Lord. You know, like some of my prophet friends, every year they get this word, you know, to the church or to the world that they've prophesied into, and it's always on Facebook. Come on, don't tell me you don't have friends like this. And all of them have different words. I'm like, all right, who is right? Just kidding. But so I'm like, maybe God's going to give me the word of the, that's not usual for me, but maybe I'm going to get like the word of the year for the Lord. This is in 2016. And so I'm coming into expectation because November 30th is about to come up, and I go into my prayer closet. Now, the reason why people don't tell you what and talk about waiting and show you what it looks like is because it looks boring. Because I go into my prayer closet. Now I'm expecting open heavens, angelic encounters, you know, downloads of information that God's just going to open the word to me. It's just going to be beautiful. And I get in there and I'm... Speak, Lord, your servant's listening. I'm here, God. Where are you? You end up falling asleep and waking up. God, I'm sorry. Were you saying something? I didn't hear you. Forgive me. Now, I know God doesn't really stop speaking. I understand his heart for me. I know he's proud of me. I know he loves me because I know who he is and his love towards me. But I wasn't getting anything. I wasn't getting this rhema word from the Lord. And I was thinking, God, what's wrong? Is there something wrong with me? Is there an issue here? What is it? How come I'm not hearing from you? Why am I coming, setting aside time, fasting, and you're not saying anything to me? Now listen, I want you to understand something. Even though I didn't hear things after the first few days, there was something that was building in me, that was strengthening in me. I just didn't understand it. It was like there was this intimacy between me and him that was trust, that was beginning to unfold. And I didn't understand it at the time, but I felt that something was strengthening. It's really hard to explain, except I'm going to do a play on words here. Like if you asked me to right now bench, I don't know, 200 pounds, I know I look like I can do it, but I can't do it. However, if I went to the gym, I don't know, every day, every other day, and took a lot of supplements, eventually, I would be able to, hopefully, bench 200 pounds. I don't even know if that's a lot of weight. It seems like it. Is that a lot of weight for my size? Maybe? Yeah, Pat's like, no, I could do it. For me, it would be a lot. But there's something that happens when you weight train with the Lord. When you're waiting on him and he's building you and he's strengthening you so that when he finally releases a word, you're strong enough to carry it. See, it's often that you're in a wrong position. It's just that the time for him to release it isn't there yet. It's like you're in a quarterback scenario. You drop back, and God is the quarterback. You're the receiver. You're running in the right direction. You're going in the right path, but he's not released the ball because if If he releases it too soon, you wouldn't be able to catch it to go for a touchdown. Sometimes we're going in the right direction, we're running the right way, we're just not in the right position yet. And he's just waiting for us to get in that position.